What is good,
Yo,
podcasters, the podcast listeners? Welcome to our third episode. We are being so consistent with this. It's already to our third episode, and it's honestly been feeling great. It's
Yeah, it's
benefited us
surprising how consistent we are with this.
I mean,
exactly.
Because
it's
We're pretty
yeah,
busy with like other things, other than like school and stuff. We're all pretty busy, and it's pretty sick to like that we find time to really like produce this like content and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty sick.
Friday we're recording, Saturday we're releasing.
pretty
Yes,
sick.
sir.
And we've also really appreciated the feedback we've got so far about improvements and what you've liked about the podcast and everything like that. And we hope to
Yeah.
improve it more as we go further. Obviously, we're just
yeah,
starting
and
this
now
one.
we're up on Google and Apple Podcast. Let's go.
You know what I found really sick, right? Something I had boasted to my parents about. Search the tribe Unwound on Google. You'll see our names.
First thing
Bro.
comes up.
That's
That
the
is
first thing.
sick.
Yeah.
It's so
So
sick.
also that shows that we came up with an original name.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
one else
Anyway.
pops up apart from like one video from like some tribal thing. But moving on. Moving on.
Anyway, so we're gonna move on to today's topic, which we're pretty nervous about since we don't know if we're ready for it, but it's a serious topic, and we're just gonna get straight into it. So today we're gonna talk about mental health.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mental health is like it's a very important thing. And I've talked about this like before with like literally anyone, most of my friends and stuff. Like it's a very important thing. If you're not like if you're in a bad place, then you're gonna be producing bad things. You know what I mean? It ruins your relationships with your friends, your family, and stuff like that.
I feel like also like it's just something that's recently been introduced, and not many people talk about it that much. Like even us or like the boys as a friend group, it's not generally a topic that we touch upon.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
since COVID-19 became a thing. I feel like people who guess didn't probably didn't understand the topic before and didn't understand how mental health worked and how people could suffer mental health actually kind of understand the consequences and how it can affect your daily life and your work ethic and everything like that.
Since we're mainly in a developed country, I feel like we get the messages more about mental health and stuff like that. But uh, in underdeveloped countries, it's not as prominent as you might like as it might be over here.
Yeah, that's a very like good point to bring up because it's very true. And it's also like within like student, I mean like children and stuff itself. Like some people they don't feel it like they don't find it comfortable to really like open up to people. And that's also like linking back to what Devansh just said about like underdeveloped countries and stuff like that. Which is pretty like unfortunate for some people because they really like need that like maybe that one conversation, to make them feel a bit better about like any type of situation they're in.
Yeah,
Out of-
it's also like how we've been educated like growing up. Like we've been taught to be progressive about things. So in that way it's really good to like also be in a developed country right now.
I don't think it's how it's not how we've been taught. Like each generation is just more progressive.
But I mean, there are also like things that people have said, like like face all your challenges instead of running from them, and kind of like those motivational. No, I mean not exactly just the quotes, but just like things to help you, like inspire you. But I feel like sometimes it's just a lot better if you can just open up about your problems and talk to someone. That probably helps more than trying to face the problems on your own when you're struggling with like mental health and stress and stuff like that.
I feel like friends really influence your decisions. There, if you have a good group of friends, you'll gradually get better. So if you see successful people have just successful friends around them, like that circle of influential friends. If you have bad friends, there is no like there's really a really high chance that you just do the bad things and you won't progress.
Yeah, and also like not having any friends, you won't have anyone to vent to or share your problems with, or you won't really have anyone who can relate to you on the same level.
Yeah, that ties in with mental health. So having someone to share your problems with,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a friend. You can really just speak out to anyone who's willing to listen, and it'll just really help you out.
Yeah, so I feel like things like mental health and stuff, it's best to like not be lonely when you're going through these problems. You know, it's always good to have someone around you.
Which is why I'm so grateful for having like such a close group of friends like us four. Like we go cycling together almost every week. We talk. We have a full group chat all the time.
So it's us five, and like we like, yeah, we really miss Amar as well, my G.
Yeah, Amar easy.
But like, yeah, we really like, as we said before, Corona really brought us together,
Yeah.
and we're grateful for
We're
that.
all like, we're all sort of like benefiting from each other. Like, I feel like going back to like Amar and stuff, I feel like he also like pretty much pushed me. Like my grades are pretty like I don't know if it sort of like ties in my grades and stuff, but like I feel Amar was always like top of the class and stuff, like most of the classes I was in, and he sort of pushed me to like be more like competitive in that aspect, I guess. It's not like a competitive thing, but it really just like sort of pushed me to like improve on myself and stuff, which was
Yeah,
pretty sick.
even in Taekwondo, when Amar and I used to train together, it would always just be like competitiveness, just getting the best of us. But it wasn't anything that was negative. It was all positive, yeah, and it was really good for the both of us because we were pushing ourselves, which was really good, healthy.
Even me and Amar had like a lot of competition between us over like exams and studies and stuff like that because we always used to get very similar marks, but then we would fight over like each extra mark or each like advancement to the next grade and stuff like that, and like that kind of helped me.
But coming back to mental health, having the good friends is really a good thing to do for your mental health. It really puts you in the right place.
Yeah, and even like apart from friends, having a family that supports you and understands you is also like really important. Because if you let's say have a lot of family problems going on, it it really would affect you in negative ways, obviously, and that's also where friends come in. So you can talk to friends about the problems that you're having at home, and they can give you their advice on what to do, or if you need to speak to your parents about something or whatnot.
Personally, from COVID, like I've gained mainly good things, but mental health wasn't like everyone used to talk about mental health and COVID issues because the social separation and stuff like that. But I really appreciated the extra time that we had, like at home, just like connecting without like outside distractions or phones, stuff like that. It really reduced during that COVID period, and we also
Yeah,
got out a few good relationships out of it.
yeah, and we've had it better than a lot of people, which I'm really thankful
Okay, so
for.
I feel like we should all give ourselves a chance to share our experiences during COVID-19, dealing with mental health, um, dealing with online school, and how we coped with the problems that it had that came with it, and some of the methods that we learned to cope with mental health over this time period. I would say. Let's start with you, Devansh.
I think that COVID didn't really affect me mentally. I just saw everyone talking about it, but it didn't really affect me mentally because I wasn't focusing on being alone because I had people around me, and online school was obviously such a bore because we didn't have any of the events, etc. But it was really a fun time because I was with my family and we could talk without like all of our busy schedules, and we had time to connect with like people from India and stuff. So it was really a good time, and I didn't really focus on the bad things. So I guess that didn't really affect me mentally.
Yeah. For like me, it was like when did COVID start? Like around like year nine, right?
Halfway through year nine,
Through year nine.
February year nine,
Yeah. It
February
was
2019, 2020.
for
2020, yeah.
me like from year nine to like year 10 and stuff. I feel I went through like a sort of change and stuff. It was pretty like everything. I was sort of like mixed in, but like our friend group was there, but I was like with another friend group, and it was very toxic and stuff. And I kind of came out of that friend group like really bad vibes, and I wasn't really very like happy with myself. in that like whole atmosphere and stuff. And basically, I wasn't really happy with myself. And throughout like the summer of 2020, going to year 10, I was sort of like getting myself prepared for year 10. I was like making these goals. And I basically knew where I wanted to go, you know what I mean? So I started like putting in like the work slowly. Year 10, I started seeing big improvements, whether it came with like my grades, my like social skills and stuff like that. And then this summer, I really like I was all in, you know, like with anything. Everything was going well with me. I was like producing like crazy amounts of work. My productivity went levels. Like all of us as well, we all talked about it. Our productivity went levels this summer and stuff. We were doing so well together. Moving on, I'll pass it on to Zaza.
Yo. Okay, I feel like during the whole COVID thing, I was doing the work I was supposed to do, yeah, but sometimes I felt like I was really like frustrated just sitting at home the whole day because for me, I'm like the type of person that like needs to be outside and doing some kind of physical activity at least like, you know, once every 2 days or something. So that's when I asked my dad to get me like a new cycle, and I was just going cycling every day, and that's kind of how the whole cycling thing started with us, like the whole era, I guess.
That's actually an interesting way to put it because like cycling is what actually brought us together as a
Yeah.
friend group because like it's what actually started off these conversations that we're just having on the podcast. And the amazing bond that we've created.
This sort of like ties in with like the coping mechanisms as well, with like mental health and stuff.
Yeah.
Because Zod went cycling and stuff, and I remember this guy used to, whenever he came back, he used to sweat like loads. He went far and far and far and far, further than most of us actually have gotten. And yeah, he was really putting in that work.
Yeah, I feel like the cycling bit also, we kind of had the same reasons for beginning cycling and going outdoors more and more. Like because being stuck at home, I kind of have nothing to do, like wanting to get out and do something active. But personally for me, for my experiences during COVID-19, like the last term of year 9, my work ethic kind of just like plummeted. Like it just became terrible. I feel
Oh.
like it was just because of the fact that we didn't have that face-to-face interaction in school, like, and also because the first term of year 9 we didn't really have many Zoom calls. It was mostly just posting the assignments, you do your work whenever, and just send it to them by the end of the day. And it kind of like I found myself procrastinating a lot, like just delaying it till the end of the day, delaying it to the next day, because I knew that if I wasn't facing the teacher, they wouldn't like say anything to me, or I wouldn't have to talk to them about why I'm not doing my work or anything like that. But I feel like ever since year 10 started, and ever since we got the opportunity to do hybrid learning and starting to go to school more days, I feel like slowly my work ethic has gone back to normal. Also, because as it's been going back to normal, I feel like it's been a little bit difficult trying to get used to doing as much work as I did, which felt a little bit weird because this is just kind of like how I used to work normally before COVID. So, but like I'm thankful for the fact that we've been able to get sort of back to normal now, and at least I'm not really at a really bad stage in my life with like a lack of motivation and a terrible work ethic and just not wanting to do work at all.
I feel like we need to speak about coping mechanisms. So, I think for
Obviously, cycling for all of us, cycling
Yeah.
was a coping
Like
mechanism.
physical activity, like in general, like when I used to like run and stuff, it was like perfect. See what I mean?
yeah, and I feel like especially for Josh and I, music was like our coping mechanism because we would just be speaking about music all day, and we would be like on call listening to music together.
It sort of wasn't like just like the music, you know what I mean? It was like the type of music, like the lyrics and stuff. Like it got pretty deep, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most like me and Zahid, we used to like even Shamal as well. We listened to like rock and stuff. We had a whole phase and stuff. I still listen to rock.
Yeah.
Just like I
That-
sort
Yeah,
of
all
got
of us
my
do.
entire
All of us do,
playlist
yeah.
is just rock now at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I can't listen to normal like the mainstream music that we have now. Like
yeah.
And-
Yeah.
find it like just it's just so inferior compared to rock. Like rock just has
Yeah,
so much more meaning to it.
I
yeah,
listen to mainly like, it's not mainstream, but it's mainly like chill music, so I can like calm down and just focus on my work.
yeah. But like me and Zahid was sort of like introduced to like this other like type of music, right? By this like one person. They know who they are, but like they made like this like playlist for us, right?
Oh
For both of
yeah.
us. And I'm telling you, like I'm not even lying. I was every single day, like in school, I've just been listening to that playlist. Like the songs are just so good. The lyrics
Yeah.
have like extra deep, like deeper meaning, and I can't like think of anything else but just plugging my earphones in, listening to the music, and just getting on with my work. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy how much like this like music can like affect us, and I'm on it. Like I'm happy as hell to like have like music in our lives and stuff. Like have that like opportunity to actually listen to like this type of music.
More than that, I'm
Yeah,
just happy that we got introduced to this style of music. Like before, I remember back when I was not even like a teenager, I used to listen to like EDM and stuff. I don't know why I like that kind of music, but now it just seems
yeah.
so stale and so like I guess fake to me. I guess rock has a bit of like reality to it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Moving on, I feel like rock, why you guys really identify to rock is because you can feel the pain of the person who's actually writing it. Like some of the bands that you guys listen to, like Motley Crue, I mean, you can feel the pain that they're experiencing.
Well, it depends on the song. It depends on the song.
No, okay,
Um,
okay. So back to what Advan said about pain and stuff. Metallica, the lead singer James Hetfield, actually went into rehab for a whole year, and after coming out of rehab, he started making music the way he used to again. And I get what you mean by pain and stuff. So that way it makes sense.
Yeah,
Josh,
like
want to add anything?
the stories with like these artists and stuff back then was crazy. Like with Molly Crew and stuff. The whole thing with like Nikki Six. My like bro died twice and came back to life, which was pretty crazy. But it all like like leaving out like the drugs and stuff. It always links back to like the mental health. Most of them
Yeah.
weren't even in a good place during like all like during this time. Like, and you see like even nowadays, some artists they get hate online. They're never like in a good place. It always comes with, like insecurities as well, and some of them resort to like other things, like other coping mechanisms, which might not also be good for you. Because not all coping mechanisms are good. They resort to like alcohol, to smoking, to drugs and stuff, and they ruin their lives. And we've all seen this in like children nowadays, like teenagers and stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like some artists also like they like one of their coping mechanisms could be just writing music and producing music, because the I'm waffling. Cut this part out. Okay, Chamal, continue.
Mechanisms.
yeah, I agree with the coping mechanisms. I think some people can get the whole idea wrong. Like people could think that coping mechanisms could just be a way for them to forget about the hate that they're getting and the toxic environment that they've put themselves in, rather than just like finding a way to get rid of that frustration, like face that frustration that they have because they're not getting all the support that they wish they got, and just getting so much hate from everyone for no reason, and possibly even turning that into lyrics for a song.
Right, and there's also like the whole drugs and stuff. It links back to what Devon said about influence and being in like the right group of friends, because they'll influence you to like resort to these type of things like drugs. Like you can't go there. You're not meant to go there, and these people are confused themselves, and you're obviously like you'll get caught in the crossfire. I feel. Yeah.
Anyways, moving on, I feel like that's been a pretty difficult thing for us to talk about.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're still very immature, but Shamal,
And
last
hopefully this
point.
can also be a way for this podcast can be a way for us to like spread our like talk about our problems as well to to everyone who listens to it. Just like apart from just four of us, even people who are listening can like relate and like follow along. And I feel like this podcast can be, hopefully, can be a way for us to talk about our mental health issues that we come across along the way, and hopefully can spread the message of, I guess, coping with mental health to our audience rather than just like talking about it amongst the four of us. Maybe talking about it on this media format can be even more helpful.
If anyone wants to say anything regarding our episode, we'd appreciate if you put it in the comments, if wherever you're listening to. And the amount of support we've been getting is good. And now we're going to end the episode here. Hope you all enjoyed this episode. And as I said before, we're now on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. You can even listen to us on our website. We'd really appreciate if you dropped a like, you followed, and if you enjoy our content, we'd love if you could reshare it, as it would be a massive help to us, and it would encourage us to keep producing content. And any suggestions, please feel free to drop it in the comments.
Yeah,
And thank you guys for
100%.
listening.
We're all so grateful.
So grateful.
But on that note, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys in the next episode next weekend.
Yeah.
Bye.
Next Saturday. Next Saturday.
Yeah, see you
guaranteed.
guys.
See you by smoke. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, guys, like, why are you like laughing, bro?
Bro, I'm literally like out here. Just like,
Okay, Shimon, just go with the final point again.
Okay, guys.
I got a whole lot of- Bro, it reminds me of the pictures of this guy in GTA. He's sucking. This guy was acting like he's putting his